Thank you both. I owe you one. I think you should hold on to the Biometal. It's probably safer that way. But I need you to go to the trans server and send a mission report. No mission report for the client, no bounty. Say, we're trying to fix the train, but we need a few more parts. Tell him we won't let him down and to wait just a little longer. Alrighty then. So you still have to file mission reports to the trans server, but the mission system is a lot better handled in ZX Advent than it was in the first game. No longer will you ever find yourself going up to a Maverick door and then the door's locked because you didn't start the mission. That was a thing in the original ZX. You couldn't start and attack a Maverick until you had accepted a mission to fight that Maverick, and that's really no longer a problem. When you accept missions in this game, you get them automatically, and you don't have to rush off to the trans server in order to activate them, which saves you so much time.
So, you're the one who submitted the mission report. I'm connecting your trans server to Legions via a secure channel. So, you're the Biometal's chosen one, a Mega Man.
Why do you get to ask all the questions? Do people at Legion always just do whatever they want?
We heard you were a feisty one. It seems that the rumors were true.
Mikhail, that's quite enough. Like she said, we are the ones being rude here.
We are called the Sage Trinity, and we are the supreme authority of Legion. I'm Master Thomas.
And I'm Master Mikhail. Nice to meet you, Mega Man.
And I am Master Albert. Nice to meet you, Ashe.
Wow, it's kind of scary to know that they know about me at Legion headquarters.
Word has it that you are quite a hunter. We'd like you to go on another mission.
We'd like you to bring the Biometal here to Legion headquarters. It would seem that Mavericks are after the Biometal as well. To reduce the risk of being spotted, it's important to keep the number of women to a minimum. Can we count on you?
It seems the train bound for Legion headquarters was damaged. That card key should allow you access to a new area. There's a crashed Raider airship not far from you. Find it and you should be able to get the parts you need to repair the train.
The Biometal holds technology and information that we do not fully understand, like the Mega Mechanism, which allows you to Mega Merge and become a Mega Man.
And not to mention centuries worth of lost history.
That's enough, Mikhail. We have a duty to study the Biometal, so its secrets are never misused. Ashe, can we count on you?
Okay, now things are starting to get interesting. You're going to up the bounty, of course.
We'll consider it. First, head to the airship crash site, and be sure to heed the advice of your fellow hunters.
Alrighty, folks. So I should warn you, part 2 is going to be mostly me exploring the Hunter's Camp. I'm going to be getting to know the NPCs, I'm going to be showing off this place and all the various side quests I'll be starting up later. And if you just want to skip right to the action, if you just want to see me fight some Mavericks and bad guys, you might want to go to part 3. Unless part 3 hasn't been uploaded yet. In that case, just wait 2 days. It's coming. But either way. This guy, pretty familiar. We've had a guy like this in Zero and the original ZX, where if you find a whole bunch of data chips, a whole bunch of data cards, you bring it to him and he'll give you some biographies on like enemies, bosses, etc. So you just bring it to, building number 2. Because there's data disks everywhere, and we're going to be finding some of them. This isn't going to be a 100% run where I get every single data disk. Like I said, I'm going to be getting all the body chips, all the sub-tanks, all the life-ups. There are also things that I guess aren't body chips, but they do enhance your character. Like, there's an item you can pick up that actually increases the damage of your buster shots. So, things like that I'm going to be looking out for. I'm not going to be doing every single side quest. I'm not going to be tracking down all of the data disks and all that stuff. So, kind of 100%. And before people ask, yes, I know about the Epilogue. I know that if you beat the game on hard, you get an Epilogue. And you can get the epilogue by beating normal a lot. You have to beat normal a lot of times. I don't remember how I got it to trigger. I just remember I beat it a few times, and then the epilogue happened. And you will be seeing the epilogue in this playthrough, don't worry. I have the big surprise ending, don't worry. I am also going to be showing off Mega Man A minigame. What's Mega Man A minigame? You'll just have to find out later, man. You'll just have to find out later. But don't worry, this is going to be as complete a ZX playthrough as I can. And I'll even go by some of the differences between Ashe and Gray as they come up. So yeah, now we're doing a mission for the Sage Trinity, who are the heads of Legion, which is basically the head government of the future. And Mega Man aficionados probably found the names pretty familiar, because their names are Master Thomas, Master Albert, Master Mikhail. Well, if you've played the classic Mega Man series and you're very familiar with it, the humans in the classic series were Dr. Thomas Light, Dr. Albert Wily, and Dr. Mikhail Cossack. So they were named after the three humans of the classic Mega Man series. Don't worry, guys. Master Albert is totally trustworthy. Just because he's named after Dr. Wily, that doesn't mean he's going to be the secret villain of this game. He's not actually going to be the villain. Come on. You're reading too much into that. Master Albert won't be anything like Dr. Wily. Oh, God. Anyway, this is Kid. This place has been buried under a whole bunch of rubble, and the only way he can clear it is by powering his drill with energy crystals, and that means we have to give him our energy crystals. Again, when you defeat enemies, sometimes they drop health, sometimes they drop weapon energy, and other times they will drop crystals, which is the currency of this game. It helps with side quests. You need them to activate warp points. They're very important tools. But I give this guy 100 energy crystals, I leave the building, I come right back in, and wow! He dug through that rubble really, really quickly. This is how much I was able to widen the passageway, in like 2 seconds. But to keep going, I need 200 energy crystals now. I wanted to give it to him, but I don't have 200 energy crystals. I only have 124, so unfortunately, that's not going to work for me. Here you can pay attention to all the items you have, the quests that remind you what you should be doing and where you should be going. So again, they actually remind you what you should be doing at all times. You can configure the controls to whatever you want, which is always appreciated. And they also tell you what all of your abilities can do. I didn't show off Giga Crush yet, but Giga Crush is something I'm going to be showing off later, where you hold down the A button, which wastes your entire Biometal gauge, the entire green energy bar. There it is. It basically attacks everything on screen, including bosses, and it drains a decent amount of health from bosses. It's not a huge amount, but it's okay, you know. It's good to save it as like some kind of final attack, just in case you're desperate to end the fight really, really quickly. But again, it consumes the entire Biometal energy bar. If you're even just a little bit empty, you won't be able to activate it. Your crazy 3D hologram cube won't surround you so that you know it's getting ready, you know? But that's basically how it is. You hold A, hologram cube surrounds you, and then boom. Also, in case you're wondering what the bottom screen looks like, it's actually different depending on what icon you press. It could be a map of the overworld, which doesn't really help you in relation to what you're doing at the time. It can also be a map of the actual area you're in, represented by a whole bunch of light blue squares. So you can actually have a map this time around, which ZX1 didn't really have. You still had just a basic mega screen in the original ZX, but this time around you can actually see a map that is 2D. It shows you when you're going up, it shows your position in relation to everything, which is always swell. And you can also configure it so that it has all of your powers, all of your transformations on the bottom screen. So if you want to instantly turn into a human, instantly turn into Buckfire, the Pseudoroid, then you can just tap the icon on the bottom screen, and you'll instantly transform into that thing really, really quickly, which is always swell. But the good news is, if you've played ZX1 or the classic Mega Man games, this is something Mighty Number 9 failed at, by the way. If you just want to like pause the game and switch to your powers that way, or pause the action so you don't have to worry about enemies attacking you while you're trying to cycle through your powers, you know? You can still do the familiar methods. You can push pause, select what you want from the pause menu, and you can still push Y so that time stops, your character floats in midair, and you can actually circle through the various things that you can transform through. For example, I can't break this wall as a regular Model A. There it is. I pushed Y, I can still circle through everything and transform to whatever I want. So I don't have to use the touchscreen. That still freezes time. Bosses and things won't attack you as long as you push Y and you're cycling through that circle, which I always like, you know? It's a lot more convenient than a pause screen, and it's something that I wish like Mega Man 9, Mega Man 10 had, you know? Any modern day Mega Man game that comes out in the future. I can dream. Oh, by the way, humans swim. They can't stand on the ground, so that's a big difference I wanted to show off. You're not going to be a human in water often, but it's a nice little detail that I thought was kind of interesting. Model A walks in water. Human swims because they're too buoyant, you know? I like these little details. It makes Mega Man ZX Advent seem really special and unique. I must have paused moving here because I wanted to show off the map now. I started talking about the map earlier and I forgot that I specifically paused the action so I could show off the map here. But this is the map, ladies and gentlemen. This is the map in action. And, yeah. These are all the light blue squares and stuff. Good to know, right? Good to know. There are no side quests to really do in Hunter's Camp right now. I have to wait until a lot of the story progresses before I can start doing side quests. But a lot of these characters will actually eventually have exclamation mark bubbles above their heads, and that's how you accept a quest. Thank you, Bouncing Laser. And that's a data chip. Because we saw that building number 2, the guy who will take your data chips and read them so you can show you a whole bunch of information. Well, that's a data chip, so yeah. We got a red card key from the Legion guys, so we can't use this green door. We need a green card key in order to use the green door. So unfortunately, we're not going to the right. But that's fine. Actually, we're not going to the green door for a long time. We don't go to this door until, like, near the end of the game, surprisingly. This door I'm facing right now heads to one pathway with a Pseudoroid. I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go in a different order. I'm going to go to a different Pseudoroid first. The NPCs are quite delightful. Including stoic, non-talking dad here. When it comes to skills with a buster, there's nobody in Hunter's Camp even close to me. Exclamation mark point shows up above his head, which means now he has a quest for us. It's not much of a side quest, it's very small and very contained, but anytime you see an exclamation mark above someone's head, that means they have a side quest for you, which is great for ZX Advent. That means you can just sort of rush by everybody. If you don't see an exclamation mark above their head, then you don't need to worry about a quest or anything. You can just run by them and it's all hunky-dory, you know? But anywho, he wants us to beat his score in the shooting range. So you go in here and we have a minute to take down 100 enemies. And it usually is always a close call kind of situation because they don't really start pouring in enemies until like the last 10 seconds. In that case, it just gets surrounded with a whole bunch of stuff. It just obliterates so many of them at a time. But you have 3 openings to shoot your pellets. Don't bother charging shots. There's no reason to. You can kill them in one hit, so why would you? And you can still use your scanning ability. You can use your scanning range to get a whole bunch of them at once. The electricity actually goes through walls. It will go through walls and hit whatever's behind it. So that's actually one useful thing about it. And again, the electricity never misses. Once it's locked onto something, it kills whatever it's attacking. Maybe not kills, it might just damage, depending on what you're fighting, but it will always hit what you want it to hit. And I got 104, I beat his record. What? Alright, here's the 100 energy crystals I promised you. take it. Thank you very much, good sir. So, you could do it again, but we don't get anything extra, I don't believe. Anyway, folks, we will be going to a proper level. We will be taking on a second Pseudoroid in Part 3. See you then.